No Talent Beats.
We gonna get it
We
together,
gonna get you
bro.
right
Don't
into
you
it.
worry about that, yo. This man waited until we started shooting to put them damn glasses on. He had them in his hands the whole time, so I'm snitching.
I had to look very scholastic today.
Yeah, it's too bad the word is scholastic, not scholastic.
First of all, listen, are you an English teacher?
I'm not. You're right.
Then shut the hell up. You know what? I haven't done this in a couple of episodes. You know what
I
grinds?
was gonna say. I know what you're
You know
gonna
what I
say.
fucking can't stand?
Well, what can't you stand, Sean?
Motherfuckers always trying to correct me. It's like, nah, hey, scholars, what's up, though? How y'all feeling today?
Now you trying to calm down and shit. You ain't shit.
Trying to be centered, you know?
Ah, okay. Trying to be zen.
Zen.
Understood.
Peace.
Welcome, scholars.
Peace, love, and chicken
Now,
grease.
now that we've calmed down, apparently we have to because Sean's trying to lead this and make us calm down for some reason. But we're gonna do a 30-second intro because we have an illustrious guest with us today.
Absolutely.
And we want to let them introduce themselves, where they can be followed if they would like to. But you like to do these long ass,
I haven't done it.
long-winded.
I haven't done that in 2 episodes.
Oh, let's make it 3.
Niggas make
Sean,
it 3?
how you doing?
Bruh, so you know what happens? I'm joking. I am joking. I'm fine. Everything's okay with me. I'm okay. My drink tastes really good. I got a Basquiat paint on my shirt.
Yes, you do.
Dante, you better stop fucking correcting me.
Yeah, that was one correction. That's it. Just don't mess up no more.
How you feeling, Dante?
I'm good. You know what I'm saying? Any day above the ground is a good day. You know why? Because it's another day to do something different.
Yeah.
So we good. We good over here, you know, peace and blessings and all that good stuff. You know what I'm saying? But I'm ready to get into the shenanigans. Now, I don't think there's going to be shenanigans
Not yet.
this episode.
Not yet. There might.
No, there might be.
There might.
There's going to be a lot of good information.
You never know, man.
Especially for people like me who will be asking a shit ton of questions because I want to know some things.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? So we have someone with us today who's going to be able to answer all of those questions that y'all might have.
Oh, the pressure. Okay.
Yeah, just a little bit of pressure. Nothing
Damn,
crazy.
right.
You know, pressure makes diamonds. That's what they
Yes,
say.
sir.
We're
You
going
know
to turn
what
the
I'm saying?
spotlight right on you.
Right.
Yeah, brother, introduce yourself to the scholars. Let them know who you are, where they can follow you if you have anything
Appreciate
going on, things like that.
Yeah, my name is Robert Milton. You can follow me on Instagram, real_estate_Rob. That's because I'm a real estate agent. Been doing it since 2012. Also have been a educator for over 22 years as
Nice.
well. You know what I'm saying? So
Get up. Clap that up for the black man.
He said
Black
20
educator and realtor. I love that. Love that. Love
Black
that.
don't crack too, because he said 22 years, and he
Nah.
looked 22
I was
years
about to
old.
say, he look younger than me, so.
Like, damn. I just started grabbing my beard,
Like, just shave it down just a
hit the
little
Macaulay
bit.
Culkin, like, oh my god.
yeah, hilarious, bro.
But nah, so he helped me get my first house, technically.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
word
I'm
up.
a homeowner, and
Look at
he
you.
assisted in that.
Look
So
at you.
clap it
Word
up for
up.
that.
Word
That's
up.
you, son.
Happy for you, son.
Yeah, I got a
Yeah.
deed. Mr. Deeds. Nah, but
Annoying.
bro, cut it out.
I ain't do nothing.
You
All
did
I said
something.
was you annoying. I can say that. That's not correcting you.
So I wanted to ask you, what got you into teaching?
Good question.
Yeah.
I was going to school for psychology. Got to statistical psychology.
Psych is my shit. I
word?
studied that in college too, yo.
I thought you was about to say psych is your show, but
I can't stand
Yo,
you.
Hilarious, bro. So I was all into it, man. And statistical psychology hit me, and that
That
math.
joint is different.
Yeah, that math. I was like, you know what?
That joint is different.
no, thank you.
I dropped it. I dropped it right there, and I was because I was going to teach psychology for inner city, black and urban people for mental issues or whatever the case may be. So I switched it over. I was like, what can I do to still help my people? And teaching was the next thing. So been doing that ever since. You feel me?
Nice.
Yeah.
That's dope. And what grade did you teach?
4th grade.
Oh, them kids probably bad as hell.
Oh man,
I was gonna say
I can't say nothing.
here on this show we're not gonna ask you what school you work at.
Nah,
we're
we're not
gonna
gonna do
that you're
that.
educator. So
Yeah,
we're gonna keep it at that
But
because I was gonna say I used to work for a nonprofit organization where they said like no kid was a bad kid. As I got older, I started to like I understand what you mean.
Right.
But then there's just some of them kids that's like, I know I'm not supposed to say you bad, but like why? Like why do you do the things that you do?
That's what I be asking myself every day. Why, man? Why would you do that right there?
Just hit him with the like, yo, what's wrong with you, man?
Literally, bruh. Like, what are we doing? So as a teacher, I want to know 4th grade specifically because I remember my 8-9-year-old self. I was a nut.
Oh, we drove our 4th grade teacher crazy.
Yo, I remember. More specifically, middle school.
Yeah,
I
that's
was
tough,
like,
dude.
it wasn't even that I was necessarily bad. It was just, what could I do and get away with and not get
I'm about to
in
say,
trouble?
don't
for?
lie because
No.
you was up here a couple episodes. Miss Burgess, we ain't forget.
Yo,
Miss
dog.
Burgess, we ain't forget. Dante was up here jumping cars and shit.
Oh, wow.
See, that was high school. Now, middle school was different, okay?
Wow.
You not. This was 4th grade. Dante was in Brooklyn jumping on
4th
cars and
grade,
shit.
what was I? 4th grade, that was what? 9 years old. Now, I was still living out in Brooklyn. All right.
That's 98 going into
That's
99.
98 going to 99,
Yeah.
basically. I wasn't wilding for like how I was when I got to high school.
Okay.
I was more so wilding in the sense of like, you know that kid that can't never sit down? And he's always like, not necessarily running around the room, but recess is his jam because like he's going to do everything.
Yeah.
That's me. Like when I was in 4th grade, I think it was more so like I had too much energy and I didn't really know what to do with it in classes.
Right.
So instead of like, I wouldn't run around, but I was the talker. I was the one that like, if somebody's cracking a joke, if somebody's telling a story, if somebody's disrupting the class, it's probably me. But not in a way where I was like maliciously doing it. It was like, all right, I got the lesson. It makes sense. I'm done. I'm bored. Can I talk to someone else? So it was like, for me, it was like, I need something to do because I'm done with the thing that I need to do right now.
Yeah.
So like, do you have any, we'll call them crazy stories. Like, you've been doing it for 22 years. Yeah. So I'm sure you got at least one that's like, that made you just question, not your profession, but made you question like, yo, what is going on in that brain of yours that made you do that thing? Like, has that ever happened to you before?
I'm not gonna hold you. Like, it's probably happened, but mine is so timid because, you know, I guess with male teachers, you know, the discipline level, you don't even have to, you know, overexert yourself. It's just that male figure. But yeah, I think I had a couple of, you know, push me to the limit and test me a little bit. Yeah, I think I had one kid stand up and was like, "Yo, what you want to do? Like, ready to fight?" Yeah. And
4th grade, bro.
4th grade. Yeah, 4th grade. Right? In my head, I'm like, "Yo, all I gotta do is kick you and you falling over."
Big show, big move. Like, come home. Like, why the hell you got a footprint on your face?
You know, but yeah. So that was probably the wildest thing, and you know, he apologized afterwards, but you know, kids in that, like you were saying, in that moment, they really not processing everything. So once he realized, he might kick me in my head, you know, he relaxed himself, you know. So yeah, that's about it. You know what I'm saying?
He chilled up after that, right?
What he say in Spider-Man? I got you for 3 minutes.
Hey, Freak Show! You're going nowhere! I got you for 3 minutes! 3 minutes of playtime!
Sorry.
Yo, and Steve, if you had that drop, that would have been the perfect time.
Oh man,
The perfect time to drop it.
You ain't going nowhere.
3 minutes.
Use it on my wrestling podcast.
No, you good. Shout out to Randy Savage, bro.
Yo,
Rest in peace,
Macho Man.
Rest in peace, Macho Man.
That was one dude. Like I said, I know y'all, Steve, y'all really into it still. Like, do you still watch wrestling?
Nah, when I was in there, you know, I'm gonna expose my age, but late 80s, early 90s, I was definitely into it.
I used to watch it all. I would be telling them all the time. I used to watch it all the time.
So,
and then it just got to a point for me where it was like, I can't keep up. So like,
Right.
that's why I honestly fell off. It actually happened in 8th
Let's
grade.
be real. It felt because it got ass.
Yeah, and I stopped
too.
keeping up with it. So you missed one SmackDown.
Yeah.
Because I was a SmackDown dude. I was like, when they started having those battles, SmackDown versus Raw, like I was a SmackDown dude.
Let's be real. We were all SmackDown because SmackDown came on regular network TV and Raw came on cable.
That and the fact that, let me be real, The Rock was my favorite wrestler, and he was on the cover of SmackDown, the video game. So I'm rocking with SmackDown because that's my boy. You know what I'm saying?
This is like, I don't got USA, but I got Channel 9.
You know what I'm saying? I could watch Channel 9 no matter what time of day.
I could watch UPN, you feel me?
And then it just got like, after a while, it was like I just fell off because I know, y'all gonna hate me, but I know it's not real. So it's like, if I know it's not real, it's easier for me to be like, I don't really want to keep up with this because it's not a movie. If it was a movie or like a show, it's like, okay, so I'm already supposed to know that this is a show. I can keep up with this.
But it's a soap opera.
But see, it's not.
But it is.
It is with the dialogue. But like, well, except for that interview, I forget who the dude is. It was probably from the 80s or 90s, where the reporter was like, so wrestling is fake. So how do you feel about that? And he slapped him in the face. He's like, is that fake? Did that feel fake to you? So I will never interview a real wrestler because that'll probably happen to me. And I know it'll be real.
That was Roddy
obviously.
Piper. That was Roddy Piper, right, Steve?
I think that was Sid Vicious.
Oh yeah. When he was like, "Does that feel fake?"
He's like, does that feel fake to you? And the dude on the floor like, shh.
Sid Vicious like 6'8". Sid Vicious like 6'8".
Too, which is wild.
Yeah. So my thing, and you know what's funny? Because I was just watching the Mr. McMahon documentary on Netflix.
I wanted to see that.
I gotta get into that.
Yo,
Yeah.
watch it. Because
Everybody keeps telling me the same thing. Like, yo, he was really like a tyrant that you didn't even know about.
I'll say this.
Other than what you seen when he was on camera and shit.
I'll say this, and because I don't want to turn the whole episode into a wrestling episode. I loved wrestling, and I was one of those kids who was able to go back and forth because I got into wrestling right when the time when WCW was actually beating WWF.
Okay.
So, like, a lot of my favorite wrestlers are WCW wrestlers. But then obviously there was that time where WCW got really played out. They started doing very unrealistic things. Like, we already know what we're watching isn't real.
Right.
But don't make it blatantly obvious that it's not real. Like, we get it. Like, okay, cool. Like, I used to joke about that when we first met, how WCW had this wrestler named Norman Smiley.
Oh, yeah.
And Steve knew who Norman Smiley is. Norman Smiley used to wear these fucking, you know how they wear their little tights. But his was bright ass yellow with a happy face on the back. He would get in the ring.
Oh, man, right.
Like, I want to see that shit.
Right.
Like, come on, I'm supposed to take you serious?
Right.
like, I understand WWF had Val Venus, you feel me? But at least that was more realistic. Like, you
Yo,
feel
there
me?
was something about that dude when I was growing up that I was like, yo, something ain't right. Like, he makes me feel uncomfortable. Like,
Oh, I bet.
hello, ladies.
Yeah,
I'm like, yo, anytime his intro came on, I'm going to get some ice cream.
man.
I don't want to see his intros.
But
he always made me feel uncomfortable.
If you watch the documentary, like, and you want to feel bad for Vince McMahon, but at the same time, from the shit he was doing, you don't feel bad for him, because he tried his hardest to blur the line between what was his actual reality and what the character of Mr. McMahon was for him, for his business. But all this shit coming out for years, he kept saying, oh, Mr. McMahon was just a character. But he was taking actual shit from his life that he was doing, infusing it into storylines. And that's why it was so easy for him to take the problems of other people and turn those into storylines. Like, we talk all the time about how the fucked up shit he did to Matt Hardy.
Yeah,
like,
you put me onto that, 2-3 weeks ago?
yeah, like, a lot of people don't know that,
that.
like, that's some real life shit. Matt was really with that girl. She cheated on him, and they turned that shit into a storyline.
Oh, wow.
They fired him because he got mad, and then told him, if you want to come back, you got to let us exploit this.
Wow.
That's crazy.
So
Wow.
it's shit like that, and it's like, damn, man, like, and we were all in, like, yeah.
I will
Now
say, though,
I feel bad about it.
You know what I'm saying? I knew that it was fake, but there were certain things that I liked about wrestling, even though I knew it was fake. Like, I think it was when maybe Kane chokeslam Big Show, or maybe it was Rashiki, and he broke the ring, like all the ropes fell down, and there was a big ass hole.
Kurt Angle slammed Big Show.
There you go.
No, I'm lying.
No, it happened more than one occasion,
So
but there was
first-
one where the ring broke,
Yes.
and there was a hole in the ground.
So it happened
and there
twice.
was another one, the ring just broke down.
So the first one,
Just happened last Monday.
See? Yo, that's when I'll be like, yo,
Braun Strowman.
Because for me, like, it makes sense. If somebody's like 500 plus pounds, you slamming them down viciously, some shit should get broke. So when I saw that, I'm like, all right, so maybe y'all trying to make this look a little bit more real for me.
But with that, I mean, given the comparison to yesterday, because it was like two 500-pound men.
Let's name it. It was Braun Strowman and
Yeah, so that kind of looked
Bronson Reed.
Okay, so that didn't look like they was faking that. Like it actually looked like that could happen.
Believable.
Okay.
And that's why, truth be told, and Triple H is literally doing his damn thing because he runs it now.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Triple H runs it now. He's the
pretty much DX runs the whole company.
Yeah, because
X-Pac coming back?
Nah, Shawn Michaels runs the so they have like a minor league called NXT. Shawn Michaels runs creative for that. And then Triple H runs creative for the main roster.
Keep it in the family.
Yeah.
Okay.
And when I tell you, since he's taken over fully, it's been nothing but amazing. Like, I went to the last WrestleMania. That was probably the best wrestling event I've ever seen. Like, and I'm not saying it because I was there. Like, I rewatched it when we got back into the house and was like, yo, this shit was even better on TV than it was in person. Like, amazing. But listen, so I brought that up.
I was about to say, I know there's a method to your madness. I was waiting for it to happen.
Oh, my bad, bro.
You good. We get it. So I brought that up because this man, Mr. McMahon, is fucking nuts, bro.
Ridiculous.
Like, it's just insane. And we got there because I was talking about big boots and shit.
Oh, yeah, I don't know. I was about to say, I understand. I get it. I get it. There is a method to the madness. I can't connect all the dots, but I see the dots forming. You know what I'm saying?
It's like a motherboard.
Yeah, you know.
Listen, I got lost a little bit because I said I didn't want to get lost in the wrestling aspect.
Listen, that's on you, son. Because I already know when it comes to back to the fourth graders, you know, because I don't know how we got to wrestling because I had a legit question.
There you go. Because in fourth grade, that's all I cared about was fucking wrestling. I wasn't disrespecting my teachers. Like, you know what I'm saying? I feel like this generation, like, I know it is going to be very old-headish of me. But
We're at that age, bro. Like, when they said it, it's because it's like it made sense to say it. Like, oh, back in my day, that wasn't. Yeah, because back in their day, So it's like now, whatever you're going to say, you are going to be the old guy. Because back in your day, whatever you're going to say, they wasn't doing.
I just think that, and people want to blame it on social media and things like that. No. I just think overall, and I'll get killed for it, but I don't care. Parents forgot how to parent.
No, you can't get killed for that because that's the truth. And I know by your head nod, because there are a multitude of educators who I've spoken to who said it starts in the home.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Because
you can't blame that on none of the teachers, the principals, the admins, the guidance counselor. It's not their responsibility. Once 3 o'clock hits, 2:45, depending on your school system, it's your job now to make sure that these kids are good. So when they come back tomorrow, they're not cutting up. That's not the teacher's fault. That's not the principal's fault.
We were always taught never disrespect your elders unless they disrespect you. Especially when it comes to a teacher. Like, my mother didn't play that. You're not getting suspended and kicked out of school. Like, don't make that face.
Nah, because I said, you know what it was? I told you it was my mouth. Yeah. I always got in trouble because I don't know how to shut up. That's really what it boils down to.
I've only gotten suspended from school once in my life, and that was 8th grade.
Okay.
But yeah, in the circumstance, my mother completely understood it because we were living in Woodbridge, and at the time we lived in Woodbridge, a lot of racism.
Yeah.
A lot of racism. And it wasn't like, oh, we're assuming that this person is racist. It was blatant as hell that this person was racist.
Yep.
So, like, to the scenario, the teacher had the class separated. All the black and Indian kids sat on one side, and all the white kids sat. But we were so young-minded and was friends with each other. We didn't catch it.
Right.
But then it started becoming noticeable because when things would happen, kids would be kids sometimes. We would be the ones to get yelled at. Like, kids talk. You always, every now and then you gotta tell a kid, like, hey, I'm teaching, stop talking. Cool. I was the kid, like, if it was a group of us talking, I would join in. But as soon as the teacher was like, stop, I would stop.
Right.
And if it was that one kid who kept going, then I'm the kid, like, yo, chill. Like, she trying to get shit off. This one particular incident, the teacher looks at me and goes, We were throwing paper at each other across the class, but this is before class started. We were throwing paper at each other and it stopped. But I remember throwing it. I had this friend named Danielle, was a young white girl, and she was like one of my best friends. So I hit her with the paper. She throws the paper back at me, but she gets caught throwing the paper. But somehow, some way, it was my fault. Now, granted, she yelled at me the day before for asking my friend behind me for a pencil.
Wow.
I'm asking for a pencil to write in your class.
Right.
So I can be the best student I could possibly be. And I remember just getting so mad because now I'm realizing, oh shit, we're separated in here. Snap!
Yeah.
And I guess all the blackness just came out of me like, man, fuck. That's the first time I cursed at somebody older than me. I'm like, man, fuck this shit.
Wow.
Like, she was like, excuse me, LaShawn, and everybody knows me for being polite and nice. So when she did that shit, I'm like, man, fuck that. You always yelling at me, and I'm the one trying to get everybody here to relax. Man, fuck that. And she was like, you can go to the office. I'm like, I will, motherfucker. I left.
Oh, you going
my
on,
bad.
bro.
My bad, Denzel. My boy was going in, son.
And my mom used to always tell me all the time, speak what you feel. And I own that now. Because when I was younger, I would always hold my words back, and then they will always come out at the worst possible times. So that's what happened. I had felt this way about this lady for a couple of weeks, and I didn't know how to properly go about it because, you know, I can't go to another teacher in this school. They're going to look at me like I'm crazy. When you're black in a town that's, like, really not black, you're the ultimate minority. Like, they already consider us minorities, but then you're really, really a minority. I don't have anybody who's going to relate to me if I go to them saying, like, hey, I think this lady's fucking racist. They're going to look at me like, how do you know that? Because they don't understand it. So, and I understood that at that age. So when I went off, I remember sitting in the principal's office, and I remember being scared as shit because all I can remember is all the times my brothers got in trouble, and my mother just didn't react well to that shit. And that was the first time I had ever gotten in trouble in school, and I'm just sitting there like, oh, fuck. So she calls. Because she's at work, she couldn't come get me. And I remember just crying on the phone. She was like, why are you crying? And I kept it real. I'm like, Ma, I cursed at her. She's like, what's she doing? I explained the situation. She's like, don't worry, we'll talk when we get home. My mother looked me in my face and said, you can find a better way to talk to your teachers, but I'm happy for what you said. Because she understood that I would have never did that shit if it wasn't for a legit reason. But I was scared shitless. I thought I was about to get my ass whooped.
Yo, when I tell you, we'll probably, because there's certain words that I can't say that I said when I was in third grade to my third grade teacher. I hated her. Like, excuse me, my fourth grade teacher. I hated her. Like, she didn't make any sense to me as to why we needed to do all these things. Like, I'm a person that, like, if I ask you why, I don't need you to tell me because I said so or because I'm the adult. Like, legit, I'm asking why because I want to know. I'm not going to combat you. But it's just for my common knowledge. Oh, I need to do this because it's for my safety. Oh, okay, that makes sense. Let me go on about my business. So one time I got in trouble by a teacher, fourth grade. I won't say exactly what I said because it was wild for me to say at like 9 years old. I'll tell y'all off camera, but long story short, my parents came up to the school. When my dad tells this story, it's the funniest thing in the world to him. Because I'm a good, like, traditionally, I'm a good kid. I don't cause no problems or nothing like that, but, like, if I feel a certain way, I'm gonna say it because it's like, this is how I feel. I just need to get off my chest, and then I'm good. Like, I don't care what happens after that. Like, I said it already. So I said what I said to this teacher, and it was mad unnecessary. So when my dad was like, he understood why him and my mother got called up to the school. When my mother tells this story, it's like the worst story in the world. She's like, you were such a bad kid. You shouldn't have said that, what you said. When my dad tells this story, he was like, that was the funniest meeting I've ever had in my entire life. And I had to keep my face straight the entire time. He's like, the moment we left that classroom, I busted out laughing. Your mother hated me for that shit.
That's how it be. Parents be good cop, bad cop.
Yo, you know what it boils down to, though? Like, that's why I also love my dad. Because I'm going to segue into a question that I got for you. Because, like, my dad understood in that moment, you're not bad. You just shouldn't have said that in this time and in that context. Like, it was, I understand that you're frustrated, but you shouldn't have said that. But it was hilarious. And the reason where I'm going with this is, like, men and women, we're different just in general.
Yeah, facts.
You know, I've had male teachers and I've had female teachers. My female teachers tended to be a lot more in your face, a little bit more hot-headed, a little bit quicker to say like, shut up and blah, 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 blah. But whenever I had a male teacher, it was always like, so this is what y'all doing? So this is how y'all gonna act in front of me. Like the Denzel, this how y'all gonna act to me. After all the shit I do for y'all to go to gym and drink shot.
But
that's how I feel.
Right,
So go ahead.
No, but because he said it. He was like, he said earlier, as a male teacher, it usually less drama you have to deal with because it sucks that kids think this way, but kids are naturally going to test a female teacher a little bit more than they test a male. Naturally, they're probably thinking like, oh, he's probably strong. I should probably chill the fuck out. I should probably relax. I should probably relax.
And a lot of times, though, the female teachers sometimes make it worse. But like what you said, by agitating the student, getting in their face, and you know, trying to exert some type of authority because they already feel like, you know, this kid is challenging me. Yeah. I have to overexert myself to make them shut down.
Like, respect me,
right,
so to
right.
speak.
You know what I'm saying? So, and that just caused more conflict. You know what I'm saying? So that's not my style of teaching. You know, how I am calm like that, that's how it is.
That's just how it is all the time.
Yeah.
Okay. Because I was even going to say, like, I've never, and this is going to sound bad, but I live in America and it is what it is. Like, I haven't had a lot of black teachers and I haven't had a lot of black male teachers. I can literally think off the top of my head of probably one.
He's probably the same guy.
And it's probably the same dude that he's thinking about. Mr. Johnson. And I didn't meet him until my 12th grade year of high school.
Wow.
Fail. I didn't meet this man until I was 17 years old.
Yo, when I tell you, shout out to Mr. Johnson. When I tell you,
Mr. J was by far the coolest teacher I've ever had in my entire life.
I'm not going front. You remind me so much of him.
Yes, that's what made me bring him up, son.
His demeanor was calm as hell. But if you got on his bad side, you ain't want to be on Mr. Johnson's bad side. Ooh, I watched him curse somebody out once, and they was so shocked that he did it because he was so cool.
As he did it.
He's like, yeah, get out. He was like, yeah, get out. I'm like, I remember we sat at lunch the next period, like, how the fuck makes Mr. Johnson that? Like, yo.
Who? Like, how does that happen?
When I tell you, he was and I love teachers like that. And I want to ask you if that's your teaching style, because I love teachers who are so engaged with their students that they make them want to come to class. Like, there was never a time when it was time to go to his class. I'm like, damn, I don't want to be in school.
I was like, I get to go to Mr. Johnson class. I'm not cutting. I'm not going to be late. I'm definitely going to be at this class.
I was at Mr. Johnson class all time.
Every day, on time.
Real talk, man, But as far as your teaching style, do you feel like, do you keep your students engaged, or go ahead? I'll let you explain.
You do this to me, I do for sure. I try to keep them engaged. Like at the same time, being calm. Like I can't stand being in the classroom just lecturing, right? So I like to engage. I like to play games with them. I like to have fun. Like, you know, like you were saying, like you were very, very active. So we got to take a brain break. We're going to do jumping jacks. We're going to do some push-ups. We just, you know, my main thing is I want to have fun in my classroom. I don't want to sit there and be bored because they're going to sit there and be bored. So we have all type of activities and games and everything. And we just try to make it as fun as possible. You know what I'm saying? For me and for the kids.
Yeah. And would you say that that's like helpful to them? Like those brain breaks, those jumping jacks and stuff like that?
Yeah, for sure. They look forward to that. And they know something is coming. So I'm gonna stick with this because I know, you know, we're gonna have some type of fun or some, you know, break it up eventually. You know? So yeah.
Listen, that's what's up, because I feel like even having a teacher like that, it helps when you get into adult life. Like, especially with my job, like I work in home health care. And, you know, when the caregivers come in for orientation and whatnot, since I'm the director, humble brag.
Mind you, he brings this up every episode. But just the humble brag.
I don't. But since I have to make sure everything's going fine, I have to sit in the orientation sometimes. And I hate the orientations where the supervisors are talking to the caregivers and they're just talking. Yes, like, the best orientations, just like how the best classes were when we were in school, is when you're keeping everyone engaged. Like, have them do stuff. Don't just like, hey, what's the answer? No, like, and if I don't know the answer, work with me on it. I think that was we talk about Mr. Johnson. I think that's why I loved him so much as a educator, because I went into that class thinking like, damn, like I should be knowing all this shit already.
Yeah.
And he didn't allow me to feel stupid for not knowing what I didn't know. And he worked with us on it. Like, if you got the answer wrong, instead of him saying no and then calling on somebody else, he was like, how do you get the answer? And then he wants to see where your mind is at, so then he can get you to a point where you can actually act out the issue. No, excuse me, the problem. And I'm like, yo, I love that about him. And what I also loved about him is outside of class, once he built a rapport with you, he was just the funniest man in the world. Because he knew I played football, and because his classroom was right next to the cafeteria. And I remember walking out of the cafeteria with a Mountain Dew. He was like, "Gimme." He was like, I'm like, what?
That's Mr. Johnson.
He's like,
bro.
you're an athlete. You shouldn't be drinking soda. You didn't open that yet, right? I'm like, no. He literally,
because he wanted it.
Oh, snap.
and yo, he opened it up in front of me and went.
Oh, snap.
Yeah, but I wasn't mad.
Right,
Because I'm like,
right,
yo,
right.
I
'Cause you got
shouldn't
that
be.
rapport with
I
him,
should
yeah.
not. It's not even
Yo.
that. I respected it because I'm like, I shouldn't be drinking this shit.
Right.
But you know what? This is why we fuck with him, because he had different reasons. That was a nonsense reason. You know why? He just wanted the Mountain Dew.
Right,
he had a moment where he was like, yo, you can never be late to my class. Don't ever be late. I remember the first time someone was late to his class, he was like, if you go across the hall to the lunchroom and get me a slice of pizza, I'll let you in. So his shit was all situational. If he fucks with you, just go get him a chocolate milk that was his joint, or a pizza.
He was smart enough.
He don't care.
He was
but if he
smart enough
don't rock with you, you're late. You gotta go to the office. He don't care.
He knew who can do that shit with, because
Absolutely.
the wrong student would be like, he's trying to steal from me.
So I mean, I have one question in the realm of education, because then I do want to move on to talk about the real estate, because I won't speak for the scholars, but I'll speak for myself. There's some things I want to know, because I'm trying to be a homeowner pretty soon.
Sure, that's what's
but when it comes to the education field, how important do you think it is representation wise? You know, 3 black brothers in the same room. You know what I'm saying? Like, how do you feel in terms of representation? Not only being a male teacher, but a black male teacher, especially you say you teach in the inner city, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah. So how do you feel like that is for you to be in that classroom with those students?
Yeah. You know what? Because I'm so in the moment, sometimes I don't understand how much of an impact that makes, because I see those kids as not just my students. They're like my niece and my nephew. So the rapport I have with them is not, student to teacher. That's family. You feel what I'm saying? So,
I love that.
So when you pour into those kids and they know that you love them genuinely, they pour right back into you, right? So in general, I don't think other cultures can relate that closely with these children. So the kids just don't have that same level of love and respect. And like you said with Mr. Johnson, you know, he could talk to you that way, and you're gonna, you could give him the soda, he could drink it in front of you, and it'd be a joke for you know what I'm saying? Because I could do the same thing with my kids, and they know, that's a sign of love. You know what I'm saying?
Kind of crazy. I legit wasn't mad.
Right, you know what I'm saying? So
if anybody else would pull that shit,
I swear to God, if any other teacher would have drank my milk in front of me, or told me to go get them a pizza because they were hungry, I'm not doing that. But Mr. Johnson, the homie, yeah, bro, I go. You want pepperoni on that slice, or you want a regular cheese slice, bro? I got you.
And the fact that you still remember him to this day, 10, 20, I don't know how, you know what I'm saying, 10, 15 years later.
It's about the frame. Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So this shows that, he left a mark on you guys, and, Educated Brothers, some small way he left.
Say educated,
you know what I'm saying?
Old head brothers.
Old head brothers. In some type of way, he left that mark for you guys to move forward, right?
Big
so
facts.
I feel like I'm doing that with the kids. So, I'm hoping I'm making that type of mark with them, and I think I am. You know what I'm saying?
Clap it up for that, for real.
When I have kids, I want them to have a teacher just like that.
Seriously. But you know what it is like as a kid, it's already hard on top of the things that I got to deal with, especially being in 4th grade. Like even 1 year makes a huge difference. The things that you do in 3rd grade are not the same things that you do in 4th grade, because you're getting ready for middle school. You're getting ready for those bigger standardized tests. Like more things are becoming more important.
And if I'm not mistaken, that's when puberty starts.
Yeah,
for some, for a lot. Well,
Yeah.
nowadays, I mean,
Facts,
things are
yeah.
moving a lot quicker nowadays.
Absolutely.
Like, we talking 9-year-olds? Yeah.
Yeah.
Back in the day, 90s? Nah, I don't
that
think
wasn't
it
happening,
wouldn't have been that crazy.
No,
Now,
I was around 8 or 9 years old when I realized, like, damn, I like women.
well, yeah, see, that's different. But in terms of like
But that's
acting on the sexuality part of it, like you might want a
Obviously,
little
yeah.
kiss or something like that, you know,
Yeah.
like little kid. But like the crazy, I'm in the buildings every so often. You're in the buildings every day. So I know you hear some of the things that the kids talk about. Like, I remember writing little notes because we ain't have phones in the 90s like that. So it's like writing little notes. Right, this little girl. I was like 4th grade, like I said, 3rd grade. My first girlfriend wrote in the note, "Yo, you trying to make an Oreo sandwich?" Because my little perverted ass was thinking like Oreos is like one on top of the other. Like that don't even make sense when you think about it. But it's like in my perverted ass little 9-10-year-old mind, I was like, "Yeah, I want to make this Oreo sandwich with you, girl. Come on now."
I think every man has a story like that. Like, mine wasn't no damn Oreo sandwiches.
Because for me, it was like, you know, the sandwich is on top of the.
Yeah,
We
My
went
bad.
to-
The way
we-
my mind works is different.
We went to when we lived in Newark. We went to in the summer. We went to day camp. My grandmother used to work at the community center around the corner in West Side Park. Shout out to UCC. So there was a camp counselor there named Laura, and Laura was my brother's age. My brother is 8 years older than me.
Sean, you want to go play kickball? No.
Nah. I was obsessed with this lady. Oh my goodness. And I remember back in the day those stupid ass rings they used to have that had like multiple colors on it? And
Yeah, the
it was
moon
like,
rings.
No, but it wasn't a moon ring. It was literally like rainbow colored, and then the top was like rectangular and really thick.
Oh, I don't know.
Maybe it's some Newark shit. But
I ain't see that ring. No.
But I remember my mother having one, and I took it from the house. And I remember taking that shit to the camp, getting on a knee, and giving that shit to her.
Snap. Boy.
Yo, I was like 9, and everybody just looking at me like, "Oh shit!"
You did this in front of everybody?
Yo,
Oh, bro.
Dante, tell you when I was in it, I didn't care.
Clearly,
bro.
I was about to say, clearly it shows from a very young age. This has always been who Sean is. When he's head in, he's all the way in it, yo.
Well, you know, you watch movies and shit, and people be like, "Oh man, I got a crush on the girl," and never speak to her.
Right.
I was the exact opposite. You knew.
Yo,
Wow.
was
You
Steve
knew.
playing wedding music?
Listen, if I liked you, I'm still
That's what he was thinking.
to this day. Like if I, Grace, you gotta ask Grace. Like if I like you, I'm not gonna hide that shit. Like,
Wow, got you.
You gonna know, girl.
you gonna know, because the worst thing I can do is act like I don't, and then you end up feeling the same way, and we never like know about it.
Right.
If you don't like me, you don't like me. I can handle rejection. You feel me? I've always been able to handle rejection. I have no problem. It's your right to tell me no.
Yeah.
But I'm going to shoot my shot.
And if the shot clanks out, well, I get the rebound. I'll try again.
Listen.
If the shot don't go in the second time, it's like, all right, now I'm starting to feel uncomfortable for myself. Okay.
Why you keep shooting?
I done tried twice now, and it's like, okay, hold on.
Now she's the Kimbe Mutombo. Rest in peace.
Yeah, I was about to say, hold on. Too soon.
Rest in peace. But she rejected your shit at the rim, and you still
man.
trying to dunk on. Like,
Yeah.
no, it's over.
Yeah, because then you start to, but again, you don't start to develop that, like, I'm looking like a creep till you get older. Because then it's like, all right, this is starting to look really creepy.
Right.
Even for me.
You like 6 DMs in, and you're like, oh, she's not responding to
at
me.
all.
Like, yo, oh my god.
But yo, I also know that real estate is in your bag. You know what I'm saying?
Yes,
like
sir,
it's not just education. Like you have other avenues that you travel. So like similar to Sean's first question, like what got you into real estate?
Yeah. Another good question. I bought my first house when I was like 23. As soon as I had my daughter, in my mind clicked like, you know, you got to buy a house and blah, blah, blah. So I bought a house at 23, and after a couple of years, I didn't have much money, so the house, needed some work or whatever. The HGTV started coming out, so I'm sitting at home getting addicted to that.
Decorum network,
Right, you know what I'm saying? And I'm like,
I could do this.
I could do this, right? Mind you, I've got 2 left feet. I can't fix nothing. But determined, because I ain't had no money to get shit fixed. So I'm like, I'm gonna have to do this. And lo and behold, it took me, it might take somebody 2 days to do it. It took me 2 months, and the shit was a little crooked or whatever. But I stood back. I was like, yo, I did this.
Like this bottle won't stay still. It keeps sliding.
But it's mine. You feel me? So I was like, you know what? I could buy more houses and fix shit crookedly too and sell it. You know what I'm saying? So
if y'all need a crooked house,
right?
y'all know who to go to.
This the perfect month for a crooked house too.
It's called the italics house.
Oh,
Everything
shit,
is
I like
supposed
that.
to be slanted like italics. You know what I'm
It's
saying?
Halloween. It's called the Beetlejuice house. Beetlejuice house. You're gonna build those shits in Salem. No, not Salem, Massachusetts. Salem Road. Salem Road, Union.
Wow. Wow.
Annoying.
Hey yo, Grace asked me to take her to Salem. I was gonna be a dickhead and take her to Salem.
Yo, please don't do that, son, because that's liable to
She
get
gonna
slapped.
watch this. That is not happening. It was a thought. I thought it would be funny. I'm not gonna do that. Don't worry about it.
So then, being that you already you've done the work, you've been in the game for a little bit and things like that.
Right.
What would you say, if the viewers, we're gonna speak for the viewers because I really want to know. If the viewers needed to save up a certain amount of money, what would you recommend would be like the ballpark to kind of get started with that process?
So the average home in New Jersey for a single family house, let's say it's $450,000 to $500,000. A first time home buyer could put down 3.5%. I'm horrible at math. I'm an ELA teacher, English teacher. So whatever. Let's see. That's
You go ahead, do your thing. I'm gonna do my thing.
Carry the
Right.
5, add the V.
right. 3.5.
What'd you say, Steve?
Square root of pi.
The circumference.
So what is that like $9,000?
It was the equator.
15K.
I was way off.
But
Okay.
you were in the ballpark, I'm gonna give you your credit, brother. Because if you get rid of the zero, it'd still be like a 4-figure.
And move the
I'm
decimal
trying.
over,
You know what
yeah.
I'm saying? We talked about moving
Right,
decimals
decimal
earlier,
over,
so
yeah. That was bad. So if you got $15,000 is for your down payment. Your closing cost is probably another 15. So you're all in $30K, right? But if you're a first-time home buyer, there's so many programs out there. You hear, not to be political, I don't care who you vote for, but what's her name? Kamala Harris, she's talking about giving up the $25,000 for first-time home buyers. That already exists. It's up to $22,000 that you can receive in assistance.
Repeat that, please.
Yeah.
Say that
I'm
one more
playing
time.
this episode on repeat.
Nah, but I want him to repeat it because we're going to double it back.
Absolutely.
Say that one more time.
So yeah, if you're a first-time home buyer, your credit score is about a 620. You could pretty much qualify for up to $22,000 for a first-time home buyer. So, that could leave you.
And that's a loan, correct?
That's a loan that you don't have to pay back. So it's not like a grant. You don't have to pay it back. So if you live in your house for 2 to 5 years or something like that, the loan is forgiven.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So so that. Absolutely.
I was about to say, that's knowledge, y'all. Y'all better be paying attention.
The more you know.
You know what I'm saying?
You know what I'm
The
saying?
more you know.
So I look at it like this: if you're trying to get an apartment nowadays, apartments are expensive. You want to get a 2-bedroom, it might be $2,700. Right?
Don't get me fucking started. No, it ain't.
So you know what I'm saying?
My 1-bedroom is like 25.
Oh shit, bro. So you know what I'm saying? So a 2-bedroom
That's for the cat.
is 2-bedroom.
She be laying around like she pay rent.
Yeah, son.
Tux, get your ass up. Nah, go ahead. I'm sorry.
But now you stupid. Yo. I forgot what I said.
You ain't gonna get a fucking job.
So rent is $2,700, and you're paying first month plus a month and a half security. That's about $8,000 to $10,000 right there. You can use that $10,000 to buy yourself a house, and your mortgage is going to be, $2,700 to $3,000 anyway. And now you own it. And in 5 years, when you leave that house, your equity is going to go up. You might walk away with $100,000. You buying that apartment, you walking away with maybe a security if you're lucky.
Now, and that's now in this current market.
Absolutely. Yeah, I bought a house.
I was about to ask that too.
Yeah, I buy a house. I still buy houses. Besides, I'm an investor, so I buy houses and I hold them and rent them out. I bought a house in Trenton for last year for $120,000. that same house is $250,000 now. So I just made bad math again.
130,000.
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah,
100.
I got you.
Appreciate you,
The
man.
percentages has messed me up, but the math, I got you.
Easy.
son.
Just do what I do. I made money.
You know what I'm saying? I made money in the
He
1
made
year.
something
You know what I'm
of
saying? So, and the down payment on that was, I think all in was about 20,000, and from that 20,000, I just made 100 in 1 year.
Yeah.
You feel me?
Yeah.
So it just makes sense, because if I was renting in 1 year 2,700, that's about $40,000 that I'll never see again. Every year I'm giving away $40,000. I'd rather make that money back. So it only makes sense to purchase, and it's not as difficult as people think. 620 credit score, a job for 2 years, and you good to go. Right in Central Jersey, North Jersey is $450,000, but if you go to South Jersey or West Jersey, it dropped down to like $300,000.
Don't get me started, because when y'all found that house down there, bro, I'm like, mind you, they knocked one of the walls down. But that house, had like 6 bedrooms? in
Yeah,
it?
facts.
That shit fucked me up, because I'm like,
Facts.
for the price it was listed at, I'm like, no way, bro.
Yeah.
Like, I'm not person.
So demographic definitely makes a difference in terms of like where you go
Yes,
price wise and things like
Yeah.
that. So like if somebody was trying to apply for one of the programs, like you said, like to get the loans, where would they have to go to get that? Like
So-
a website or anything like that?
Certain banks, it's called the NJFMHA. So certain banks, certain banks,
He gonna put the logo right there.
Right.
Every episode, it's logo right there.
Keep it on to you. I say it one more time.
the NJMFHA. Wow, my man's good over there.
That's our brother back there. He know when to do the drops, yo.
Wow, this is very professional. I love this right here. Yeah,
That's our boy.
So certain lenders offer those programs. So so you can contact me or just type that in, and you find the banks that participate in that, and you're good to go. Yeah.
Listen, my mother's gonna watch this episode, because she's been trying to get me to get a second one
Yes, you should.
ever since we got the first one.
That's what everybody's been telling me, because I'm trying to get my first, and it's on those where everyone's telling me like a starter home. Like,
Yes, sir.
how do you feel about townhouses? Like, would you?
I own 3 of them.
See?
I'm all for
And
it.
that's what people keep telling me. So it's like, I want to know for me, like I said, if people watch this and they take the information, I hope they do. But like, to know this is like accessible, and it's not on some like, oh, you got to do backflips and you got to do all this. It's like, nah, it's a real easy thing to do.
Absolutely.
And now, I don't know about y'all, but I know somebody who works in real estate agency now, so I can talk and get the information that I need to get together. You know what I'm saying?
Facts.
But like in terms of those people who again don't have the access right away, and they want to learn more about this, is there anywhere that they can go to like find out about this information, or is it like? Is it a kept secret that people don't know about, or is it like if you just look, you can find it?
Yeah, it's right plain in the open. And just to add on to that, how I merge teaching with real estate, I do parent workshops, home buyer workshops for my parents. Every
Do you have
quarter.
some way they can sign up?
You know what? I got one coming up. Hopefully in. Oh man,
That's
Good,
it.
good.
The logo gonna go right there, yo.
Go ahead.
I got another one coming up in the winter months for to get people prepared for the spring, because that's when everything jumps off, right? So
That flyer gonna be right there.
Yeah,
With
yeah.
his hands, what? That flyer
my
gonna be right
man,
there.
my man, yeah.
Twice.
So, I've been fortunate enough, though, from these parent workshops, every year I have 1 or 2 parents that were renters that are now homeowners every single year. So, teachers, staff, anybody, you come to those workshops and just get a little educated. It's not just me. I have real estate attorneys there, loan officers there. So it's the title company. So when you're there, you understand the whole process of real estate, and it's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
And that's a joy for me to take these kids. Like I had one that just sent me a picture of his backyard with the pool in it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
So
what's
No,
up.
they happy.
you know what I'm
No,
saying?
they are. Yeah.
To be in a a little tiny apartment to now they got their own backyard with a pool, and they might have spent.
What's their address? Somebody go swimming.
Like, you know what I'm saying? Word up, right?
Or you can. You wouldn't be a first homeowner, so you can't get that loan.
can't
So,
get that.
for example, In some
Wait, I wouldn't be able to get it?
No, you're not a first-time homeowner.
Sorry. You
So
know what? There might be some ways around it.
I was just about to say, like, for someone like that who isn't a first-time homeowner, is there things that they can still do to, like, get those benefits?
Yeah, it could be. I think if you own the home for 2 years.
It's been 2 years.
It's been 2 years. Yeah, I remember. It's been 2 years. And let's say, you rented it out on paper, you'll be able to.
Technically, I am.
All you need is a paper that says it. You know what I'm saying?
That's
and
it.
you're a first-time home buyer again. And you can get that again. Absolutely. Absolutely.
So would you say right now, like, because I've been hearing it from people, the housing market is trash and blah, 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 blah. Is that the truth? Like, is the housing market really down right now?
Or is it this area?
Yeah. Or, does it have, and again, people have also said, like, speculation about, like, presidential candidates. Like, what does it have to do with in terms of the housing market? Is a better, like, general question I can pose to you.
Not going to lie, the housing market is tough. 2019, during the pandemic, the government artificially lowered the interest rates to like 2.5, and now that it's at 6, 7, and it's dropping to like 5.9 now, everybody who during the pandemic owned a home refinanced and now got a 2.5. So there's no reason for them to sell their house and go into another house and then pay a higher interest rate. So there's really not a lot of inventory, a lot of houses on the market, but there's a whole bunch of buyers still willing to buy because that's everyone's dream. A lot of people's dream to own a home. So supply and demand, because there's not inventory and there's a lot of buyers, the housing market is.
So that happened during the pandemic.
Yeah, you beat it out.
So what year is this?
It's 2019, I think.
Yeah,
right?
like around 2020, 2021. That's when it started to skyrocket.
Okay.
So, but it started when?
I would say like 2021, late 2020.
Okay.
I'm just waiting to see where you're going with this.
Let's go. Let me hear what you thinking, bro.
Nah. Listen, I'm not going. The camera. I'm not going to get into that this episode, but you know where I'm going with it. Scholars have been watching. They know where I'm going with it.
I feel like this is got something to do with politics.
Nope. We're not going to go there.
Steve's happy. See.
That's what I was talking about. I was talking about football.
yeah. So then, in terms of like, if people had to get a grant, or like you said, like there are those loans where it's like, if you do what you're supposed to, you actually don't have to worry about nothing. Is that something that you can frequently see? Like you said, you go to the banks. Like, do any banks do it, or it's like you have to find which banks?
Yeah, there's certain banks that have that loan, and I think there's an extra $7,000. That is like a $15,000 loan and $7,000 grant. Don't quote me, but it equals up to $22,000.
Okay.
But not every bank adheres to applies for that. So there's you can just Google search and then you'll find those. But I do know the banks.
I'm gonna ask for the sake of asking, and if you don't know, then that's the answer. Do you feel like there's certain banks that black people need to go to?
That's a great question. I don't. Not specifically. No, I think it's basically based on the interest rates, the APR rate. Like you don't want to go to a specific bank and just because they're nice to you or whatever, the interest rates are higher and you're getting all these hidden fees at closing. So just make sure you ask those questions. What's the interest rate? What's my approximate closing costs all in? So you go in knowing what how much you have to have in the bank, right? A lot of these lenders, some lenders, give you a pre-approval but don't really educate you. So now when you get to closing, you're short a little bit, or you gotta borrow. So you just want to make sure you know your all-in number, and if you can afford it, you're good to go.
And go from there. So then, like the last question that I have, I don't know if Sean has one more, but like the last question I just want to know in particular when it comes to like owning a house or things like that, which would you recommend a person do first? Like, let's say you're in an apartment now, right? I know you said renting is like, down the line, not the way to go. But like if you had to pick between like an apartment, house, condo, or townhouse, like in that, not necessarily order, but in that kind of like faction, of those four, which do you think is like the best route for somebody to travel? Just for the, I know it's like on a case by case basis, but what would you say was like overall be the best route to travel?
If you have the funds and your pre-approval can afford it, I would say a multifamily would be the first way to go, because you can live on one floor, rent is so high that whatever floor will pay for your whole darn mortgage, right? And now you can use that to go, because now you could use your 3.5, your first time home buyer and everything for the multifamily. Now you could jump to to another home. But if your funds are really limited and you're not good at fixing things and whatever, condo was great. That was the first house I bought was a townhome, because I knew I didn't have to fix take care of the outside. It was low maintenance. So it's just about where you're comfortable at.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
My last question. I'm trying to get as much as I can out of you.
Worried.
Let's say,
needed, you know what I'm saying?
Let's say you're in a relationship with somebody who doesn't own a home, right? Mm-hmm. They're a first-time home buyer. Mm-hmm. They apply for the loan that the first-time home buyers can get, and they receive it. Mm-hmm. Can they then, once they receive the loan, get the house, put you on the deed afterwards?
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah,
I know where he's going with this one.
I mean, it's good. I like
know where he's
that.
going with this one. Listen,
Big Pooh, we moving. Say that.
We have to just, as a people, find a way to play the game. Like, that's the way that the game is played. Let's find a way to keep it.
You play to win the game.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's like, okay, that's good to know. So then, I guess my last question then is, let's say you have two first non-homeowners, and one applies, and then 2 years down the line another applies, but they're both together. Is that a potential loophole? Let's say, really just for the sake of argument, let's say this guy's name is like Degante or something, and his girl's name is Spifinity, and they want to own a home, but Pagante has never owned, and neither has Spifinity, but Pagante is going to try to do it first, and then Spifinity is going to do it afterwards. Is that something that like to Sean's point, they do it first, and then the other person can jump on or however, and then next time around, this person puts it under their name, and you can tack yourself on the deed that way. Is that also?
Yeah, as long as the first person buys it, gets that loan or the grant, second person buys the loan, gets it loan or grant, now you could put your names on the deeds. So,
okay. All right.
Yeah.
This has been an informative episode, y'all. I'm not going to hold y'all.
I'm about to rewatch this episode like
every
30
single
times.
day.
But before we get up out of here, one more time, let the people know where they can find you.
Oh, yeah.
Follow you at whatever you want them to.
Yeah. Facebook, I'm old, so Facebook, you can find me at Robert Milton, Milton. On Instagram, it's real_estate_Rob. So real estate Rob _ from each one.
Tweet me, word. Love that.
Listen.
This has been a great episode, y'all.
Amazing.
I appreciate you. I've learned a lot, and I'm definitely going to be
fuck around and come back next episode 2-time home.
So for the highlights, for those that y'all didn't pay attention, if you're going to be a first homeowner, it really boils down to what you feel comfortable with doing for yourself.
Absolutely.
We would recommend townhouses to start, but again, that's dependent upon budget. If you got it like that, go ahead, get your home. But the housing market right now is, I guess, on the downswing. So it's like eventually it's going to be good to like get in there. But right now it's kind of volatile.
Right now the prices are, a little high, but everything's high now. We don't know if it's ever going to go back, right? So
you know what I'm saying?
If you can get in, because rent is high. So if you can get in and, afford the mortgage, I never want you to go in.
I would personally rather own than do, because you did the math. And for those of y'all that wasn't paying attention, he said he's not a math guy, and it still hit y'all with the $40,000 that you spend on rent, as opposed to the $20K that you would be spending, or $25, $30 that you would be spending on mortgage. Like, I don't even need to be a mathematician to know that sounds like a savings to me. So, Sean, you got anything before we get on up out of here, brother?
The rent is too damn high. But listen, we appreciate you for being on the episode.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Thank you.
You're always welcome back.
On that
Appreciate
note, no talent beats. Play us out. We catch y'all next week. Holla.
Be safe. Be well. Go get those homes. They out here.
Listen, and
Go get them loans.
be good teachers. If y'all gonna teach,
Yeah, yo.
don't be boring, bro, and don't steal
Facts.
Mountain Dews.
Oh wow!
Unless your name is Mr. Johnson, because shout out to
Yeah,
Mr.
shout out
J.
to Mr. Johnson,
Shout out to
bro.
Mr.
Shout
J.
out
I
to
hope you
Johnson.
out there doing well, brother.
Shout out to Miss Stewart and shout out to Mrs. Donner too. Those are my favorite teachers as well.
Well, I wonder why. We won't get into that.
Wow.
That's a whole nother episode.
Steve, you better cut that part
We are
out.
grown ass men at this point.